With a thriving population of 5.5 million to its name, Islam is currently the second most professed religion in France, alhamdulillah. And judging by the statistics, these numbers are only expected to surge, inshallah. Every year, hundreds of Muslims join the fold of Islam, with a major chunk of them being women. Regardless of how hard the non-Muslim media tries to portray Islam as a male-dominated religion, these women are somehow able to see through the Islamic teachings and comprehend the underlying special regard they have for women. Today we will walk you through the story of one such French Muslim author, named Mathilde Loujayne, whose case appeals to the senses considering how young she was when she began her walk up the path of spirituality. So without further ado, let's begin. Born in the French city of Marseille in France, Mathilde Loujayne spent her early childhood as an atheist. At the mere age of 8, her inquisitive mind led her to believe that there is someone or something higher in status than humans who controls everything around us. Consequently, she presented her query of who created humans and the whole universe to the people around her. As she was going to a Catholic school at the time, she quickly got the answer she was in pursuit of, an all-powerful being referred to as God. Thereafter, Mathilde asked her parents' permission to be baptized. Her parents agreed, and with that, her venture towards spirituality began. Christianity was a significant stepping stone in Mathilde's journey towards Islam. It familiarized her with all the prophets and beautiful values, such as love, compassion, and forgiveness. Later, Islam brought clarification and light to all her religious knowledge. So anyhow, when Mathilde turned 11, her parents moved to Oman, where a new phase of her life set in motion. In Oman, the welcoming nature of the locals and the elegant Muslim women made her fall in love with the Omani culture. When she turned 18, the unfortunate incident of 9/11 took place. At the time, she was studying at a high school in Muscat and had started the study of religions, mainly Islam. She was astounded by the turn of events following the incident, and she felt sympathy towards the Muslims who were now the victims of accusation and hatred. The image of the Muslim world was greatly damaged by the incident. However, it did little to change how Mathilde viewed Islam. Her quest was to find the true message of God, and she wasn't going to give that up just because of the spite of humans towards each other. Right after her 18th birthday, Mathilde decided to convey her wish of converting to Islam to her parents. After a lengthy discussion, her parents agreed. So she went to her school librarian and asked her how she could become a Muslim. The school librarian put Mathilde in touch with a sheikh, who eventually came over to her house and sat around with her family as she uttered her shahada. Becoming a Muslim filled Mathilde with excitement and positivity, and as she herself says, that she felt natural. It was as if Islam was the missing piece of the puzzle in her spiritual evolution. Moving on, the news of Mathilde's conversion to Islam spread like wildfire. It was met by a blend of different reactions from her family and friends. As mentioned earlier, her parents were supportive of her decision. However, the same couldn't be said for the other family members. For instance, her aunt told Mathilde that she had psychological issues due to her brother's demise. It was really painful for Mathilde to hear such remarks on something she had so enthusiastically undertaken. What's worse was that the rejections came from within her own family. It was an utter disappointment. In other words, Mathilde went through a tough phase in her life, in which she had to cut some people off, even the ones who were pretty close to her before. However, things eventually sorted out in her favor as soon as she met other Muslim converts with whom she developed a unique and heartfelt understanding. Mathilde became a practicing Muslim soon after her conversion, although she had to hide the religious practices from her family members except her parents. She prayed 5 times a day for the first time on the first day of her first Ramadan. On that day, she said she felt an incredible sense of accomplishment and was really proud. A couple of years back in 2019, Mathilde's first book, Big Little Steps, came out, in which she narrates her journey to Islam, addressing all the whys and hows. In the book, she has also shared accounts of the strong and vibrant Muslim women who made their mark in the world at different ages, as well as everything she has learned throughout her spiritual journey, backed skillfully by the touching verses of the Holy Quran. Apart from that, the book has a lot more to offer, all aimed at depicting the true essence of Islam. Mathilde personally recommends girls and women who either want to learn about Islam or are Muslim converts to read this. Furthermore, Mathilde has an online book club that she encourages both Muslims and non-Muslims to join for a discussion on a variety of Islamic literature. She has no plans, however, to write another book in the near future. For now, she is focused on the translation of her bestseller book, Big Little Steps, starting with the French language. Nowadays, Mathilde lives in UAE and has a young daughter. As a working woman, she is a living example of how the perception that wearing the hijab limits a woman's normal life couldn't have been more wrong. She proudly wears the hijab and says that if it has affected her in any way, it is to make her feel more empowered and respectful. When asked how she would describe Islam in a few words, she responded in the most beautiful way. She said, "Islam has helped me grieve. Islam has given me inner peace, and there is no price for that." And that concludes this motivational story of Sister Mathilde Loujayne. May Allah keep her steadfast in this beautiful deen. May He protect her and guide her family towards Islam as well. Ameen.